Go. Okay, how's the viewers doing out there? My name is Melvin Isaac. You are listening to, you are watching the Artistic Talent Show. And I come on every Thursday at 10 a.m. in the morning and again at 6 p.m. at night. And it's on the Cable Vision 67 and also on Verizon 5042, and that's all over the boroughs. But today I have a special guest with me, and he's a very extraordinary artist and also a veteran as well. So I want to let him tell you who he is, his name, and a little bit about himself because I have a lot of questions to ask him. So tell us who you are.
Hello there. My name is Willie Lee Harley. I came up from the South in the middle part of the 60s. As I start beginning to realize that I had artistic abilities, I started drawing about the age of 8 years old. And then one time I seen a man was doing a portrait of a person, and I asked him to teach me how to do that. And ever since he had taught me how to draw faces, I began to draw out of the comic books and stuff like that and send away for things. And as I began to get into the art itself, uh, when I turned 16 years old, they had the after-school program, and I was into abstract art at that time. And the teachers say that they only seen one or two mistakes in my work. And then after that, I started going around other artists because I live in the area where at the Pratt Institution Art School, I live in that area. So I socialized around with Pratt students in the middle 60s. And then once I went to the Army and came back from the Army, I registered to go to American Art School on 56th Street, right across the street from McConaughey Hall. I studied there for 2 years. I studied fine arts and commercial advertising and paste mechanicals. I stayed there and learned the basics of still life paintings and painting from the figure where you would only use yellow ochre and burnt sienna and white. After I began to understand what I was doing, after the 2 years of that school, went around the corner to the art students league, and I studied there for another 3 years. At the time, I studied with various teachers. At the moment, I studied with Hale. I don't know if you know Hale, Robert D. Lee Hale, The Anatomy of the Figure. I studied with him, and then I studied with Fogarty. I studied with Frank Mason. I studied with Daniel Green. I studied with David LaFell. David LaFell was the Frank Mason student at the time. So this is a little bit about the people that I studied with. And then I went out on my own, and I started doing portraits of pastel of people. But I got away from that because I started falling in love with scenery, and I started going out painting the scenery as impressionist artist. I went out and captured the scenery of the neighborhood that I lived in. And some of the paintings that you may be looking at this moment here, you'll see some of the details that people complimented me on, the way I do details and the way I do trees. And that's about it. So it's the love that I have for what I express myself in doing. I really appreciate the opportunity that I could be able to do that.
Okay, well said. You gave us a grosser history background about yourself, and that was very, very excellent. So, okay, now we begin with the questions. What three words friends and family would use to describe you?
Determined. Yeah, yeah, I would say that. Yes.
Okay. How would you describe yourself?
I really truly love where I could be able to express myself within myself, my creativity.
What inspires you to wake up every morning?
Where I could be able to, well, I have dreams and I dream about art where I dream paintings that I may not even have done that I see myself doing. So it's something that I look forward in doing by expressing my artistic abilities where I could see something that I could complete and enjoy and admire the work within that I might be doing at that time.
Who would you say inspired you?
I would say that as when I, well, by being young at that time and I seen this man drawing a face, that had inspired me that I wanted to do that myself.
What challenges have you struggled with to become an artist?
Oh, that's a tough one because you find yourself not able to really support yourself at times, and sometimes you have to put your work on the side and go back and start on your work where you're not able to do the things that you need to do because you need to be able to finance yourself for its, the cost of living and the things that you need to do for its to sustain yourself. So sometimes you have to go and do other things besides your art.
How long have you been an artist?
Basically, I say all my life.
Are you self taught or did you go to school to learn art?
I went to school. I went to school.
When did you start drawing?
I started drawing, like say, about the age of 8 years old.
How many mediums do you work in?
Mostly all paint. Mostly all paint.
Do you belong to any art organization?
I belongs to the Fulton Street Art Fair that be on the fence, the 60th year anniversary of the Fulton Street Art Fair. I'm a part of the organization where in the summertime we exhibit other artists besides myself exhibit their work at Boys and Girls in Brooklyn
Have
on
you,
the fence.
have you had any commissions?
Oh, quite a few, quite a few.
What about work in a private and public collection?
I got to run that to me.
Well, have you ever worked in any private or public art collections or sold your work?
Oh, I sold work, and I worked for, private and had commissions in doing work for other people that I had did paintings for.
Okay. What about an individual show? Have you exhibit your own individual show?
Not at this moment, but I'm looking forward. Oh my goodness, yes.
Tell us about Dorsey. How important is Dorsey Gallery to you?
At the time that when I met a young man, I did a series of paintings of Tompkins Park. At this moment, they call it Vaughn King Cultural Center. I have a series of paintings of that park sceneries, and I met a young man that attend Dorsey's gallery, and he was telling me about Dorsey's gallery. So I went over there and I met Neil and the rest of the artists that went there and had a workshop on Saturday and Wednesday. So I went over there and had a exhibit over there, and not basically an exhibit, but I shown a couple of pieces during the time that they would have a Christmas a donation for artists to donate a piece of their work for the unprivileged children, that they may be able to have someone to come over and buy their paintings so they could be able to have things for the people that's the unneedy that was in hospitals and stuff like that, where we'll be able to sell our pieces and to contribute towards people that was unprivileged at that moment.
What do you consider to be the most important in your life of art?
That I'm able to express myself.
Okay. So we come into the final question is, who are you and what is your purpose in life?
My purpose in life, if it's possible, that I may be able to uh, have an exhibition art show of all my work, where I could be able to hopefully get the recognition that I could be able to express myself, where people could be able to identify within my work.
And who are you?
My name is Willie Lee Harley, Afro-American artist that's struggling to identify themselves, where they could be able to enjoy the love expressing myself in my artistic ability and being versatile in my work.
Okay, I just want to expand on the purpose in life, as you had stated. Is part of your purpose in life helping other younger people to understand their artistic talent, to give them a way of seeing how to express themselves? Is that part of your purpose in life as well?
Oh yes, because I teach private, and I have quite a few students that I teach private, where they bring their work to me, and I give them criticism of their work, and they could be able to see the criticism that I'm telling them, that they could be able to improve on their work, and that's an enjoyment that I enjoy doing, because by me doing it for nothing, I began to receive within myself, where I began to hold on to what I have. When I give it away, I get it back with enjoyment, where people could be able to show me their work, and I could be able to express myself in seeing the different in themselves, where they could see the difference in their work by me telling them.
All right. Well, thank you very much for allowing me to interview you. And this is just the part one of the Q&A questions. So we're going to continue on with this with part two, where you're going to be discussing your artwork.
This painting here is one face, two sides. And if you look at the carving of the African descent carvings in this painting, then you see some of the African uh, carvings in the painting itself, where um, you could see the nose become to be the pyramid, uh, and then you could see certain things that within the painting, you can see the woman that have a teardrop in her eye. That's the woman's side of the face itself, and the other side um, is the man. You know, it's a funny thing about this painting here. Uh, some paintings that when I paint, I just calmly come out of my head, and I just feel that I want to paint that type of painting, where my oldest son, once he's seen this painting, he fall in love with it so much that he took it out my house before it even dry. But anyway, that's one of the paintings that my earlier paintings. I think this painting has been painted maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. You see these three paintings over here on the left-hand side with the orange background. Well, if you see them paintings, if you really get a glance at them, it's guys that's are hanging out in the hood, if you want to express this feeling as the neighborhood itself. And this was a time where I had painted these paintings where people were in the drug scene, and if you really look at the painting itself, this young man is down there. This is the way I felt, where this painting is out of my head, where you find that there's a bunch of crack vials all around, and this guy is pointing down at him and with a gun. But this is just the tragedy of certain things that artists themselves may express themselves in what they may see within the neighborhood, and this is a part of reality. I paint a lot of paintings from Don King Cultural Park there, where a slow scene where you could see this is where the winter has come up on us, where you could see the winter, where you see the beauty of the snow and the background and the depth of the park itself and the beauty of nature. And I really like to paint sometime where I paint from photographs. So this is one painting that I painted from photographs, and I thank you.
Okay.
Some of my paintings that I paint, some I work from photographs, and some paintings I sit outside and paint what I see from sitting outside. This is one of the paintings that I sat outside and painted a fall scene at that time, where if you could really see the beauty and the perspective and the composition itself. I admire this painting because this painting shows the tranquility and the peacefulness of nature itself and the beauty of nature. Okay. Here's another painting that I set outside, and I paint the scenery Von King Cultural Arts Center building, where you could see the depth into the painting and how the clouds are going back in the painting, where you could really see what you're looking at and the serenity of the painting itself. Thank you. Now here's another different style of my painting, where I love to paint abstract painting. This painting here has been done with the palette knife and a paintbrush itself, where you could see the autumn colors in the painting itself, where you could see the beauty of the autumn colors, where I just turned myself into, this is my style when I paint abstract paintings. Okay. Now this painting here, I call this painting here Serenity. Why is it called Serenity? Because it's peace within, where it's nothing else to see, where it's no a lot of action, a lot of movement, a lot of things that's going on, where this is serenity itself. Thank you. Okay. Hello there. This painting here is the heart of Bedford-Stuyvesant, where Fulton and Nostrand Avenue, where you could really see the daily life of people going and coming on a regular daily day, where you could see how beautiful the sky and the colors and the action of the movement of the figures itself, where it comes to life. Okay. So here, this is the Brew. Now this painting here is a neighborhood gathering where you see people socializing at that moment, where you could really see the neighborhood within in the neighborhood where people just doing their regular thing in the neighborhood. Thank you.
Got it. Go ahead.
Now this painting here is a painting of my daughter and her husband and my two grandkids from a photograph. If you see the painting itself in the photograph, you see identical likeness of the characteristics and the features of them. And this is one of my work as me doing the figure and a portrait of people where I get a lot of enjoyment where I could be able to capture the likeness and the characteristics of a person. Yeah. Exhibiting my work, and at this moment here, you could go to my page where you could be able to see Willie Harley 47A gmail.com. At that moment, then you will see other paintings besides the paintings that I had displayed. And thank you very much and have a nice day.
All right, so we're going to close out right now. So I just want to bring it to everybody's attention that Willie Lee Harvey, he's at Facebook. And his email address at Facebook is willieharvey47@gmail.com. So you can catch him there, look at all the rest of his artwork, his painting. You will see everything or even more that he's doing. So catch him again. That's again at Willie Harvey, Lee Harvey at Facebook. And it's Willie Harvey, 42nd gmail.com. And I will put it across the screen in 1 minute. All right. Thank you very much.